Ears to the streets, ears to the mother effing streets. It's your homeboy Loafing to Go, and I'm back with another episode of F and F interviews. On today's show, ladies and gentlemen, we got a very special guest in the building, the homeboy Fiji, aka Fee Taylor. Won't you tell the people who you are and where you from?
All right. I'm your brother Fiji, and I'm from the west side of Chicago. Um, been there all my life. Born in Arkansas, but I was raised in Chicago all my life. I think I left Arkansas. I was like 2 weeks. So I'm actually from the west side of Chicago, K-Town, around 14th and Kill there.
Shout out to everybody out west, man, out there in K-Town, man. You know, one thing, when I think about the west side, man, I think of vice lords, I think of heroin, I think of a lot of money making, man. What do you think about that?
Well, that is true. Vice lords were started on the west side. Vice lords started on the west side of Chicago and Holy City. So it's a lot of vice lord. It's a lot of heroin. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of crack. It's a lot of everything. It's a lot of poverty out there. So everything that you're thinking about is absolutely true.
All right, me being from the Wild Hunters in Chicago, I was always told as a child not to go out west, man. Me and my cousin, we used to ride the bus to this school, and they'd be like, man, don't go out west. I mean, one time we was out west and we saw a nigga on the train platform. He had a chain in his hand, and it was another nigga. He had a crutch in his hand. They was fighting in the middle of the night. Both of them said, he tried to rob me.
All right, first of all, bro, shouts out, man, to the Wild Hunters, man. I used to hang out in the Wild Hunters, man. I started hanging out in the Wild Hunters back in like 79, 80. I was still going through the juvenile system then. I used to mess with my man's Big Snake from out there, Shorty G, a lot of my homies out there, man, and my homies out there today, man. Y'all know who you are, and I ain't got to say y'all names, so y'all know who I'm talking about. Much love, man, to all the Wild Hunters, man.
All right, so why don't you tell the people about positive lifestyle management, man? What does that stand for?
All right, positive lifestyle management, man. It's a way to positively manage your lifestyle, man. So it's a podcast and it's a clothing line, and also it's a way of living. So what we did, we started this positive lifestyle management was started inside the Federal Bureau of Prison. Me and one of the brothers, man, Tank from out of Joliet. Me and Tank used to always be building all the time, man. And so we tried to figure out a way, how can we reach the youth? So it's a lot of the youth coming in the Federal Bureau of Prison. So I was always talking to them, trying to figure out what they know. And what I seen was a lot of the youngsters that was coming in, they was totally misled. They didn't have no understanding of nothing about what they was about. So we've tried to figure out a way on how we can reach them, and positive lifestyle management was started right inside the Federal Bureau of Prisons.
Wow, man, that sounds amazing right there. All right, so you got a couple of shows on your channel, and one of them is called the Rat Saga, and one of them is called the Blueprint Reveal, man. Could you explain both of those?
Okay, the Blueprint, start with the Blueprint Reveal. The Blueprint Reveal is about this book, The Blueprint of a New Concept. This is the book that we are doing. We're going through the whole blueprint, and each week, we go through a particular section of that book. So this week coming up, we on the Forks of Life. So that will be like episode 10, and the Rat Saga was started to rid our community of all the bad elements that people's looked up on, who they didn't have a clue that was rats. Because they was out here controlling the narratives of what was going on out here in the street. So we had to find something, had to find an avenue to expose the bad elements within inside our communities out here. That's the reason why Rat Saga started. Rat Saga was not just to sit down to every time you turn around exposing somebody, but it was to expose those who were in the way. That's why the Rat Saga started.
All right, so on the Rat Saga, man, you exposed a lot of powerful people. Could you talk about some of those people that you exposed?
Jimmy D. Everybody know who Jimmy D is. Vic from the Hunters. Jimmy D from out of Sircon City over east. And James Highsmith. Thomas London. Timothy Nettles, which is what's that boy name? Willa. Raheem, Jeffrey Hatcher Sr., Raheem is a rat. Anthony McIntyre, a rat. Lionheart is a rat. We just start exposing all the rats. Austin Faust out of Iowa is a rat. Just was exposing them. They rats, and they were
Wow,
in the way.
wow, man. Those are some of those names are very powerful. Do you ever feel like it might be repercussions from you exposing those names?
Here's the thing with that: a rat is a rat. If I'm gonna be afraid to expose a rat, then I'm in the way. What I'm here for? I don't, man. Listen, the same thing they can do, I can do, and I have done. So my reputation speaks for itself, man. I'm not no slouch out here, man. I ain't no slouch, and I ain't no bad. I'm not saying I'm the baddest person either, but I'm not no slouch either. So it is what it is, bro. But I'm gonna know this here. I'm gonna keep the community safe from rats. That's what we supposed to do. If you got rats, if you got a rat in your house, what you gonna do? You gonna set a rat trap? You gonna exterminate them, right? Or you gonna leave them in there because the rat might have some friends or might be some repercussions for killing the rat? You gonna exterminate them. You gonna expose them.
Well, you know me, brother. I got this big ass 6 foot long snake up in this motherfucker. I'm gonna let him loose. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what snakes do. They love them some rats, right?
For sure.
That's what it is.
All right, so on this show right here, man, I like to learn the background of people. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask you, man. I'm gonna ask you, what was it like for a young Fiji growing up?
Well, growing up on the west side of Chicago, it was twofold. I come out of two-parent home. Uh, I come out of a loving home. My mother and father always made sure that we had. I didn't know. I ain't understand how poor we was because my father and my mother always made sure that we had, even when they didn't have. But the thing was, once you leave out of the side of the outside when you leave out that door to go outside, now you coming into a different element. You coming into being around wolves. So I grew up around wolves. I grew up around snakes. I grew up around I was in the jungle, bro. I grew up in K Town in the jungle. I grew up in poverty. So it was tough. But to me, it wasn't tough because that was home. That's how I come up. That was everything to me. That helped shape me.
Right. What type of man was your father?
My father is a good man. Matter of fact, my father is if I could be 10% of the man that my father is, then I know I'm gonna be a successful man. My father still takes care of his family right now today. He take care. Not only do he take care of his children, he take care of his grandchildren, he take care of his great grandchildren. He's taking care of his family. My mom's passed away in 2009. I was fresh in on a 15-year federal prison bit. I had been in about a year. So my mom's passed away in 2009. So my dad, at that point, his wife was gone. My dad could have left. All his children was gone. I mean, all his children was grown. So he could have packed up and moved on with his life. But my dad is still in the same place, taking care of his family. I love him. And I wish I could be like him.
Right. How did you feel when you got that phone call about your mom?
That's a feeling, man, that I never forget. It was on May 25th. The day before was a Sunday. We had just celebrated D-Day. Everybody, we were celebrating. It was a joyful moment. So that next morning, me and my man Father, Mac Father from out of Jackson, Tennessee, one of the brothers of the struggle, we got up, we went outside, we worked out. Then once the workout was over, I got a call downstairs. Now, mind you, this is on Memorial Day. I got a call downstairs to go to Counselor Smith's office. And when I came in the office, she asked me to call my girl at the time, who was my co-defendant, and say, you need to make a phone call. So when I called my girl, that's when she told me that my mom's had passed. It seemed like my whole world stopped. It was over with for me. It's like everything stopped. But I can say it was those brothers that was in prison with me, those brothers of the struggle who was there with me in prison that helped get me through that situation, man. So shouts out to, man, all the brothers who was there, man, when my mom's passed, man, who helped get me through that, man. Shouts out to all of y'all.
Right, man. Was that your first stint in prison at that point?
Oh no. That was my last one because I've been going to jail, bro, since I was 10 years old, man. Since 1977, I started going to jail. That's the first time I went to jail. I was 10. So I had been coming up through the system all the way through. I've been to St. Charles. I did 2 big prison bits in Illinois, and I did a Fed bit. So I ain't did a lot of. I haven't been to jail a lot of time. It's just that when I do go to jail, I stay for years. I don't get them little short 16 months, 13 months, 6-month bits. I be gone years.
All right, so you mentioned that you were 10 years old when you first started to get locked up and start going into the prison system. All right, what type of student was you in 3rd grade?
Excellent student. School was easy for me. I was more like a gifted student. So school was real easy. I used to do my homework in school so I can have more time to be in the streets. I found the streets more challenging than school. School was no problem with me. So I can sit and look at something. I just have to figure it out. I don't like, just say with math. I don't know formulas with math. I don't know how to do formulas, but I know how to work the numbers out in my head. If that makes sense, I can look at something and work it out. I don't know, just like, in math, there's formulas on how you go about getting an answer. I don't know how to go about doing no formulas, but I can look at it and tell you basically what it is.
Okay, did you make it to 8th grade?
I made it all the way to 12th grade.
What was the difference between 3rd grade and 8th grade?
What you mean?
As far as, because you growing up, you're getting older, you're starting to really see what the world is about when you get around 8th grade, man. So what was the difference between you being a student in 3rd grade and you being a student in 8th grade?
I was going to Mason. Other than that, I had to travel a little farther away from home to get to school, because the school that I went to at the time was called Hughes School, Charles Evan Hughes. It only went up to the 6th grade. So once you graduated from the 6th grade, you had to walk a few extra blocks to get over on 18th and Keeler, or was that 18th and Keeler, to go to Mason. Other than that, it wasn't no different, because it was the same way with me. It was still easy. Wasn't no difference. I just had to. I was venturing away from home further. Other than that, when nothing else was different.
That's the same way it was at my school, Oliver Wendell Holmes, down on 55th Street. Once you reached 6th grade, you had to go to John Hope Academy, and my folks didn't want me to go to John Hope. It was a terrible school. That's where the gangs was clashing at. At least at Oliver Wendell, most of the people that went to school there, we wasn't gang banging in full force. And we was just, students. But when you went to John Hope Academy, that's when you became the person that you was going to be for the rest of your life. And my parents didn't want me to go to John Hope Academy. Was it like that when you went to that school?
Most definitely. It was like that when I went to Hughes. It was like that when I went to Mason. We was fighting souls, mad black souls. So we was at war with the souls constantly. So it was the same way. But I enjoyed it. If that did that make any sense? That sounds sadistic to me. I just said that I enjoyed war, but I didn't know no difference. It was fun to me, I got a joy out of it. I was figuring that I'm earning my stripes in the streets. So it was never like I was afraid or nothing like that. It was just that I felt a real adrenaline rush from it. I enjoyed going to school and we getting into clashes with the black souls. And we didn't really fight the new breeds at that time, because the breeds and the GDs, we was all together. We was together because the souls outnumbered us. It was more souls where I was from than anything. So the breeds, the black gangsters and the GDs, we were all a band together.